Hello and welcome to Worldwide News, the American Revolution.
We have just received outraging news that King George has written a new proclamation, to be called the Proclamation of 1763. The proclamation states that none of us colonists are to move past the Appalachian Mountains, cutting us off from the Ohio Valley. We have fought and died for that very land, and now they are taking it away from us.
This is outrageous!
The proclamation also defines the colonies of Quebec, East and West Florida, and Grenada.
1863. Now we're going to check out the Stamp Act.
News. Parliament has just passed the Sugar Act. This act is supposedly made to stop smuggling and to encourage the colonists to purchase more British goods. The Stamp Act is made because the British needs money because they are in debt. So to get money, they tax us, the colonies, which is all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. The law stated that anything printed on paper had to be stamped by the British stamps, and the British hoped to make $45,000 a year, but the colonies did not agree with that. Let's go see the reaction of a colony. Welcome back. As you can see, the saying, no taxation without representation, is kind of a big thing. Many riots are coming out of the Stamp Act. Many British houses are being destroyed and burned down by these riots. I have also heard that the colonists are tarring and feathering the British who moved out to the colonies to enforce the law. That's all we have on the Stamp Act.
Next, we're going to go look at what happened at the Quartering Act. We have British soldiers rampaging through our town. We are forced to let them stay with us in our houses. They will be staying with us for 2 years to fight in the French and Indian War. The British king is just using us so he doesn't have to spend any money on his British soldiers. We are going to start fighting back. We're going to start a boycott. Don't buy anything from the British. Today, some colonists threw snowballs at some British soldiers. They lost all their jobs because of them. The British fired at the unarmed mob and killed 5 people. The victims were Chris Maddox, Samuel Gray, James Cadwell, Samuel Mavericks, and Patrick Carr. They will be missed and they're being buried at the Granary Burying Ground. Let's go check out the Boston Massacre.
The tea tax is the next thing that led us to the brink of war.
Hey, did you hear that the English are trying to get rid of a massive amount of tea?
No! Really?
Yes, then they can get all that money from taxes. Also, they're trying to sell it at an incredibly low price, which would drive out all the local businesses.
Well, you know what my motto is?
No, what is it, Billy?
No taxation without representation.
That is a good motto. Thank you.
Let's go look at what happened at the Boston Tea Party.
Last night, we dressed as Indians and threw the British tea into the Boston Harbor, one of the busiest and wealthiest harbors. Unfortunately, they got so mad they decided to tax us for the tea that we threw into the Boston Harbor.
Dreadful news. Last night, some bloody colonists threw over $1 million worth of tea in the Boston Harbor. The king is so angry and decided to close.
The Intolerable Acts, if you don't know, was a series of laws passed by the Parliament, which we have no representation in, to punish us for the Boston Tea Party, where we dumped over $1 million of tea into the Boston Harbor. These laws take away our self-government and historic rights. These laws were passed in 1774, just a year after the Boston Tea Party. That's all on the Intolerable Acts.
The Intolerable Acts and the famous Thomas Paine are up next. Do you know about Thomas Paine?
No, who's he?
He was a man who, in 1772, he made a book called The Case of the Officers' Exercise, which argued for a pay raise for officers. Did you know that?
No.
And then last year, he met Benjamin Franklin in London, who helped him move to Philly.
Well, what did that have to do with the revolution?
Well, not that much. But he came out with a book called African Slavery in America, where he's telling us that slavery is wrong and inhumane. I feel like that could be a right thing in the future. I feel like that could go on to have some success.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yes, I believe so. It is also. Let's go drink some tea.
Bye-bye.
We're going to tell you about the battles of Lexington and Concord.
Yesterday, April 18, 1775, General Gage sent 750 soldiers into the country. Paul Revere heard of this order and rode all night to Lexington and Concord to warn the towns. He yelled, "The redcoats are coming." The militias got ready to fight. We just got news that the redcoats made it to Lexington and were surprised by the militia. No one knows who fired the first shot, but they know it was the British, and it was heard around the world. Since there were only 60 men in the militia, it was no hard task for the redcoats, so in no time they were on their way to Concord. But as the British arrived to Concord, the militia was much bigger and even women had rifles. So after the fighting at Concord, there is now 269 British soldiers either killed or wounded. The rest is a whole nother story and a whole new battle. So see you next time on Worldwide News.
The Intolerable Acts are next and famous. Thomas Paine. Whoa, read it out.
Some colonists threw over $1 million worth of tea in the Boston Harbor.
Why?
Wait,
Sorry, that was bad. Alright, ready?
Hold on. What do you... Can you
We're
not
filming.
do-
Stop.
Today, some colonists threw snowballs at some British soldiers.
Outraging news that King George has written a new
we're
book.
Breaking news. Crown militias passed the Sugar Act. This act is supposedly made to stop smuggling and should encourage the colonies to purchase more British goods. Then,
No, don't put the thing there. It's weird because I can't see myself.
we have good and bad news. Last night, we dressed as Indians and threw their tea into the... What?
We have dreadful news. Last night, some bloody colonists.
Mad that they decided to tax us.
For what?
Wait, what?
Okay, start over.
That was a Stamp Act. Now we're gonna look at the proclamation.
No!
Wait, what?
Breaking news. Crown militias passed the Sugar Act.
Oh my gosh, there's this. Hey, from us, what an outrage. The proclamation.
Outrageous.
Oh my god!
No, what? No, we can keep that.
Next, we're going to look at what happened at the Quartering Act.
You gotta.
We have good and bad.